People from complex trauma, one of the things I hear them say to me very often is, I don't know who I am. So to begin, why don't people from complex trauma know who they are? So if you think of a child coming into the world, they have all of these competing needs and drives inside of them. So one of the needs is, or drives, is to be authentic, to be who they are. But they also have a need to be loved, to be accepted, to connect with other people. And so a child coming into the world, if it's in a healthy home, they're able to be authentic, and they wait, will I be accepted? Will I be loved? And yes, they are accepted. Yes, they are loved. Yes, they connect. And so in their mind, being authentic is a good thing, and I can just be me, and I can be loved and connected for who I am. But bring that in complex trauma. The child comes into an unhealthy situation, and they decide to be authentic, but that doesn't work so well for them. No one wants to connect with them. They're punished or laughed at or teased or criticized for parts of who they are when they're authentic. And so what they quickly realize is, if I want to be loved, if I want to connect with people, I have to hide who I am. I can't be authentic. And so I have to learn how to wear masks. I have to learn how to sense what other people want from me and become what they want, be a chameleon. I have to adopt different roles in situations so that people will like me, respect me, and want to be my friend. And so very early on, they have this core belief that develops, I can't be who I am, I have to be somebody else. The second characteristic of children coming into life is just a natural curiosity. And they explore, they try new things, sports, hobbies, painting, music, and they spend time just dreaming about stuff in a fantasy world of what they would like to be one day. And if you're in a safe world, you can do that. And when you're in safety, your cortex works at its maximum, and it allows you to be curious and to explore. And all of that leads to a child figuring out what they're good at, figuring out who they are, figuring out their personality. But bring in complex trauma. When you're in survival mode, the cortex isn't working very well, and you can't be concerned about being curious about life and exploring. You're all about, what do I have to do to survive? You're in fight, flight. You're not in curiosity mode. Or some have a father who's a dictator, and he tells them how to think, how to feel. He tells them what jobs they should take. He allows only certain activities and forbids other types of hobbies. He might even tell them what university courses and career they should pursue. He regulates and controls their life. They don't have a chance to figure out who they are. They get to connect with themselves. They get to explore their internal world, not just the external world. Explore their thoughts and what they feel about different things. They can dream. They can plan. All of that happens in a safe environment, in a healthy family. But what happens in complex trauma? You're surviving. You don't want to explore your internal world because your internal world is made up of painful emotions that you can't resolve. You, therefore, need to disconnect from your internal world. You're in a world where you're learning about hard work and honesty and reliability and respect. A part of you that is very dishonest, very unreliable, very disrespectful. And they start looking at themselves. They go, I don't know who I am, but I'm afraid I'm my dark side. That's the real me. And sadly, for many, that is a very discouraging thought that causes them to feel, I'm too messed up. They really don't know who the real little them is underneath that dark side. So what I want to do tonight is just look at, are there practical tools that can help us find out who we are? And so let's begin with what makes us who we are. How do you define in general categories what makes a human a human? So let me give you 3 areas that are important in my mind that define who we are. So number 1, we have a personality. And what I mean by a personality is our basic wiring that governs how I interact with the world, how I think, my learning style, how I process information, how I feel loved, how I want to give love. It is basically my unique wiring that makes me different from everybody. The second thing is we all come into the world with certain things that we're just naturally good at, skills, talents, abilities. And then the third part of what makes us who we are is our deepest passions. What is our purpose for life? What excites us? And so some people get really excited about certain topics and they just want to explore that. Others have a passion for helping people. So those three things just are helpful categories in understanding what makes us human.